And I think it just came from a great deal of disappointment because I was so looking forward to this. You remember that feeling you had when it was a holiday, whether it was a Christmas or whatever event, birthday maybe, whatever event you may have been celebrating, where you knew there would be presents involved, and that sort of expectation and wish and hope. That's how I felt when this deck was coming out. I was waiting for the gift of this. And I think that's where my disappointment came from. But let me go through. I'll open this up. The box, once again, is beautiful. The printing in here is beautiful. It will last. It's not just a... I thought at first it was a sticker. It's not. It's completely lined. It's the colors are rich. And so they've done a really nice job. And it does... It has on the side. So if you put it on the bookshelf, you will be able to tell what it is. Now onto the book. The book was one thing I noticed that is really beautiful. They did a great job with this. The indie book I don't have is $25 to purchase separately, but it is, I believe, the same book. It's just in a different format. It's red and not this shade of this beige. It's in a red color, but I believe everything else is probably the same. As far as the printing and the colors on the inside, the blue here is beautiful. It matches the deck. And so then it has a preface. But each card, oh, look at this dragon. I mean, the book is beautiful. And it has this sort of, do you know how the pages in a magazine feel almost? It's not quite that slick and shiny, but just slightly so. It's a very nice feel. It's a good quality paper. The print is not so small that you can't read it. And then we'll just look through here a little bit. It goes through the keywords for the aces. See, this is what I mean about the colors and everything are beautiful. You can see in the background, I believe, yes, you see the fleur-de-lis in the background there, just lightly, sort of like a watermark. So, and here's the two full pages, color copy of the card, and then we'll look at a minor. The minor arcana separated nicely, and it's the same. You get a full image of the color card, almost 2 pages for each card, and what it says is just a great description from the history of the development of the deck and how it was developed. It follows the RWS system with a little bit of esoteric feel with the Latin and maybe some symbolism there that you read about here, but it's not like learning the Thoth deck where it's just so much symbolism and it's overwrought with symbolism. Which, don't get me wrong, I think the Thoth deck is beautiful, and I'm actually studying it now, but it's just beautiful. So very well done. The cover is nice. It's not rose petal or anything, but it's a nice smooth. It's not shiny. It's not really matte, but kind of in between. So good choice on the book. So the box and the book. And continuing with the box, I know that sometimes, nice ribbon to help you get the deck out. Sometimes these boxes are constructed to where these are just sitting in there, these ridges. And there's a slit under there that the cards can slide. This is not that. These are completely solid, and the way they're put together, you can see it's all one piece here, the way it's folded over, and they just did a great job. And then once again, we have our dragon here in the middle. The one thing I will say about the box is that when the cards are in it, there is this tendency for them to slide around over the edge. So that's one thing. I know there's some criticism when you have a box in a box, but I actually like that. I have the Mystical Shaman Oracle right here. I want to show you why I like that. It gives me a sense of one more step, one more movement when I'm working with the deck that makes it feel more ritual. Adds a little bit more ritual or a feeling of ceremony to it. So I'm not going to talk about it, but this box is really nice. Once again, the book. So all this is comparable to what, excuse me, I bumped the camera, to what they did with the Tarot Emblemata box and book. But this is another box in a box. Very well done. But I love this feeling of being able to open. And then when I'm done, I feel like I'm putting it almost in, I'm putting it to bed. It really makes me feel that way. So I understand the complaints about box in a box, but if these weren't in this box, then they would do the sliding around thing. And to me, with the ribbon in the box, the ribbon here, being able to take them out slowly and being careful while I do it, putting them back carefully, putting them to bed, so to speak, it just gives me that sense of beginning and closure at bookending a reading I have with a deck like this packaged like that. And I think for me, I understand that that's not going to be everybody's thing, and that's okay. But for me, that's how I view it, and that's why I like it. So now on to the cards. First of all, I want to say that when I talk about cardstock, I am not talking about thickness and the largeness of the cards, whether they're standard, whether they're larger than that. Like the Grimalkin's Curious Cats, it is a thick cardstock. It is a larger card. They're almost oracle size, or maybe they would be oracle sized. But it's a really, thick, sturdy cardstock. You can see the edge, and that's how, it shows you how thick it just has this sort of like, it's just thick. And then the size of it. So yes, if you are a riffle shuffler, this is not going to be something you're going to like take to, because it's not going to do that. Hand over hand works for me. I do love these cards, and I love cards like this. I love that substantial feel in my hands, but that's not the only thing I love about cards. That's not something I particularly look for, because just like those, we have, let me see, let me just pull out the Connolly Tarot deck. This is US Games. Once again, this is not thick. It's very it's standard US Games. It's sort of thin, very pliable, beautiful colors. It's not a heavy card. It's a standard size. This would shuffle any way you wanted to, beautifully. The thing that makes this, to me, good quality cardstock is when I take them, I'm not a riffle shuffler. I'm a hand over hand shuffler, so I will not be able to bridge. But when I take them and I hold them to riffle shuffle, and I do like that, they hold their shape, because we all know that the next thing is probably just a little like that, and then they're back to normal. No big deal. They have a good structure. There's something substantial in them, but I don't know if they have cores or if it's the cardstock. But there is a substance to them, and this is an older deck. This deck, I forgot what, but I know it's at least 15-20 years in this box because I bought it used, and I know it's an older deck. So that is good quality cardstock. It's that old, and it was used when I bought it, and the person I bought it from had used it. So, and it's held up. This standard size, I would say it's the same thickness as a US Games. But let's look at it. So first of all, it's linen, which this does not bother me, but some people wouldn't like it. It's very slidey, very slippery. And part of that is the linen, and part of it is, see how it's got this shine to it. It's very laminated, and it has, to me, a plasticky feel that that US Games or a similar cardstock, or like Debray, we'll be talking about Debray soon because I'll have some videos to go through with these. Very nice review decks they sent to me, so we'll be going through that haul. But it just, the lamination is very laminated, but it's a thin cardstock, but it doesn't have that, see, it doesn't even snap back. it's kind of floppy. You can sort of hear the difference. But let me show you what I find to be the problem with this one. If I cut it in half like I did the US Games one and take it and do the same thing, that is a huge difference. And that's not going to hold up. And it just baffles me that if I do this 2 or 3 times, I'm not putting any more pressure on it than I normally would. But there you go. And that to me, it doesn't feel like it has any structure. And then if I bend it back like I normally do, it bends the other way. So I just don't see it. It's very papery. It's very I work in education, and I do some laminating in the classrooms and things like that. And this feels like something I would make in my classroom with some cardstock and 3mm lamination, run it through my little heat machine, my little laminator press, and this feels like something I would hand the students to be able to mark on and wipe and erase. It's just I personally don't think it's going to hold up over time if you use it regularly. Now the edging is beautiful. It's not, I think it's hard for me to see. I'm slightly colorblind. I have difficulty seeing different different shades of same colors or colors in same groups, like oranges and reds. I think this is silver, but to me it has like a little, it's not quite silver, maybe it has a little copper tone. To me, you might see silver, and that's great. And that's my eyes, that's nothing against the deck. But it is beautiful. It's very well done. And just like any laminating, I think if you do side over side shuffling over time, it'd probably get some, I can see some little marks here where I had side shuffled with it. But that's just normal. That's what's going to happen if you hand over hand with gilded decks. Everything about the design of this deck I absolutely love. And so when I was looking forward to it, had it on pre-order, waiting and waiting and waiting, and Christmas morning, so to speak, finally arrived and I opened it, I was so disheartened, and that's what led to that post. So I hope you can forgive the harshness of it, and I will practice, which I know I need to do, biting my tongue, maybe waiting to say what I want to say, giving it some time to develop the words I need to say it with, in a, not to make it nicer or better or anything, but to make it in a way that people will hear it and listen to it, as opposed to hearing it and saying, well, he just seems really bitter and angry. Even if that's what I was feeling, I can't convey feeling bitter and angry in a bitter and angry tone if I want people to understand why I feel that way. And I think that's an important lesson for all of us to learn, especially with the climate of the world today and factions of people, different beliefs and different groups, and it just goes on and on and on and on. If I expect people to be able to have conversations, I need to be willing to converse in a way where people can hear what I'm saying. So thank you for that, listening to that. So the box, the book, beautiful. Oh, I was going to tell you that I did send that deck back. I had purchased it from Amazon. I went off on Facebook, and then I sent it back. Well, when I bought the indie deck, I knew the book came separately. The book for the indie deck is $25. Well, this one's only a few dollars more for the whole deck and everything. And I thought about, well, if I have this, and if I, instead of buying $25 for the indie book and spent the money on this deck to do a comparison, then I'll have the same book. It'll just have a different color cover on it. So, because the indie book is a soft cover, same thing. I think it might be a little bit larger size. I'm not quite sure about that, but I think so. But this to me is a beautiful book. They did a great job with it. The box, everything, gorgeous. The cards, the cardstock, it just broke my heart. But then I went and got the indie deck. Now this one is, I would say, I think it was $20 more than the mass market. But I'm very happy it was still in print, because boy, oh boy. This is a tuck box. I know that the majority of people would really love to see the industry move away from tuck boxes, but this tuck box, which I don't think you can see it, but it's embossed. The words are embossed. The fleur-de-lis is not, but the cup or chalice here on top is embossed. All these words are embossed. The crowns, the roses. Are those roses? I believe. Yeah. But the flowers are embossed. It's embossed on the side here. The emblem, Urania. This flower in the background here, the soft blue flower in the background that looks like a watermark, it's embossed. It's just these are. I mean, the words are not embossed, but if you look here closely, you'll see the watermark of the fleur-de-lis in the background. That's embossed. The flowers. It's just incredibly beautiful, and it feels that rose petal, that soft cover touch, and then, of course, it came with the seal, and I know I'm not going to get rid of these, and I know I'm not going to sell them, and I know I'm not, so I wasn't too worried about breaking the seal. So I usually do break a seal unless it's just like a rare deck, which I don't have any of those. But if I ever were to get any and the seal was not broken, I wouldn't break the seal. But I do. The tuck box itself, it's a thick cardboard. It's not your normal tuck box that you see falling apart on used decks. It has this little extra bit on the back cutout, which makes it easier to grab. The thumb print there on the front. So you have this space here. You're not digging with your nails between the cards and the cardboard, making this rough out here. So very well done on the tuck box. I know some other companies or other makers have done tuck boxes in this style. And if you're going to do a tuck box, this is nice. And I don't mind these. If it's a tuck box and it's like this, I am perfectly fine. Because I'd rather have this and this deck for the price I paid than to have all this and cards that feel like paper that I laminated at my job. So my job is not laminating. I just do that from time to time if we need materials that are going to be reusable. The book itself, the little book that comes with it, is nice. I mean, it gives you enough information about the history of the deck, the production of the deck, a brief interpretations. So there's the introduction. This information is sort of the same. This is about the book that the images came from the 1500s. And it has a little area here about how to magically consecrate your deck. If you want to, I usually cleanse my decks in some manner. If that's sort of the same thing, the different ways to do that. And it gets in the Arcana. And it does go into a little bit, let's look at the Fool. Carefree and vibing high, a journey adventurer starting fresh, ready for life experience, feeling optimistic and spontaneous. The world is your oyster, throwing caution to the wind, a leap of faith into the unknown. The universe has your back, unafraid to follow your heart. And then inverted, ignoring gut instincts, and so forth and so on. So the descriptions are short, but they're nice. And they're enough. For if you were just a regular reader of RWS and you're able to work with the phrases and the images and your intuition. If you are more of a beginner, I do not see why this would not be a beginning deck, other than it doesn't have the full pictures, but we'll look. But if you were a beginner, more of a beginner, and you wanted to get this deck, I would highly recommend getting the larger book. But the thickness, you really can't see. These are the two cards. They really don't appear to be very much different. But when I put them side by side, and if I make them the same height, and I thought at first maybe the indie deck had more, because they do come with Oracle cards, extra Oracle cards. I thought this deck had more Oracle cards. It doesn't. Same number of cards. But this is the difference in the height of the deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And I did this the other day. I think I got 13 that time. So 13, 14, very close. But let me show you. So the shuffleability, normal size card, I do it the same way as I did the other one. I'll do it 3 or 4 times, just like I showed you before. It takes a little bit more to pull back, but not normal. I mean, it's normal. Playing cards, riffle shuffling, and see, now it has that little arc, but not nearly as bad. And then if I take them and bend them back, boom, gone. So it's not bent the other way like the other deck. So that's, I just wanted you to see that, how that worked. But let's look at some cards just to go through. And the images are the same, so I'm not going to, I don't know if you can tell a color difference. Let's look at that. I don't think there's a little bit more richness in this one, I think. It looks, yes, the tones here are deeper. So, and that might be the lamination, because I have noticed that whenever there's a different, like this without the lamination might look like this. But in person, this is definitely richer. The background, the color of the dog, the detail in the fur on the tail, the richness of this, it's like the image is sharper somehow. But we're used to that with indie decks on some level, so that's not a big shocker. But I wonder what this one would have looked like if they had just put it on a US Games cardstock. Or, you know, it's not US Games, but I'm sure they would have something similar. It's a commercial cardstock, for Pete's sakes. It's not that big of a deal. So, beautiful cards. They shuffle great. I'll show you. You know, this is how I shuffle. Oh, listen to that. It's just, and they're so smooth. They are so smooth. And we'll pull a card here just to look at it. And they slid into each other. So this is how I do it. I just do that and take the first card on top. 3 of Swords. I'm going to try to read this. Corsum remedium abet, amor autum non abet. Now, if I did that wrong, please forgive me. It's been quite some time since I've read Latin. The heart has its remedy, but love has none. How is that for 3 of Wands? Oh, sorry, it's 3 of Swords. 3 of Swords. And they went and they found this image of the deer, imagine the hunter, with the arrow in. The heart has its remedy, but love has none. If that's not the 3 of Swords. So if you paired this with Rider-Waite-Smith book, I think that you would be able to get that meaning without having to get the book. Anyway, if it was a matter of cost, because this is a $30 deck, if it was a matter of cost, then they could have gone with a 2-part box. They still could have put a ribbon in, but they could have done a smaller book. I'll go back to my Grimalkin's Cats. And this deck, I didn't get this on sale or anything. This deck was $30. I had no problem paying $30 for this deck. It's Hay House, nice box, image inside, a phrase, but the book. I mean, look at the book. It's small, but look how much information is in this book. And then I have a really nice deck. So it doesn't have the overlapping top. It doesn't have the huge book. It doesn't have all those bells and whistles, but the cards. I remember I was watching Cheryl from Oneness Emporium. She was talking to Simon on one of their spotlight days. I love those. If you haven't seen those, then please watch them, because it's just, their conversations they have are wonderful and insightful and humorous and serious, and it just they're wonderful. So if you ever have a chance, but I remember Cheryl saying, she goes, it's about the cards. All you need. Yeah. So it's the same thickness, but give us a good 2-part box, a decent book to go in it, and cards that last. That's all. And I think that's pretty much sums up what Cheryl said. And it was just, I just gave her a standing ovation, even though I was in the room by myself watching her. I think, well, my wife was there, but she doesn't. She actually watches it with me when it's the spotlight, because she loves watching Cheryl and Simon banter back and forth or converse on their various topics. So that's the comparison. The Mass Market, great book, great outer box. Could have been a smaller box, could have been a smaller book, but thicker. And then cardstock that isn't thicker, isn't larger, but it just has more structure. That's all. And that's what I mean when I'm talking about quality cardstock. When I hold it in my hands, I want to feel a card and not a piece of laminated paper. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it makes sense to those who, I don't really know if I offended anyone, but I do know it was harsh. And I do know that that affects people, that negative energy. And so I hope this clears up that feeling, and I've understood a little better, and you can forgive me in any area of that space that I need forgiveness for. So thank you for watching. Be sure to stay tuned, like, and subscribe, because remember, coming up, the DeBry Tarot Company, Anton Rucklin, sent me 8 decks